This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Manhunt in Harris County. The tragic ambush of Deputy Skenes and the Little Caesars assault. A manhunt is underway in Harris County, Texas, after a gunman ambushed and killed Deputy Fernando Skenes, a 28-year-old 5-year veteran of the Harris County Sheriff's Office. The incident began when the suspect, identified as Ronnie Palmer, 44, assaulted a pizza worker at a Little Caesars restaurant over a wrong order. Palmer allegedly pistol-whipped the employee and fled the scene. Deputy Skenes, who was part of the Violent Person Task Force, spotted the suspect's vehicle and was ambushed while on a phone call with another detective. He was shot multiple times and died from his injuries. The sheriff's office has launched an extensive search for Palmer, warning the public not to aid or assist him, as those who do could face serious consequences. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Extreme heat sweeps across the U.S., record-breaking temperatures in Palm Springs and beyond in recent weeks. Heat waves across the United States have been breaking records, leading to soaring temperatures in various states. For example, Palm Springs, California has experienced temperatures as high as 122 degrees, which is the hottest temperature ever recorded for that day. The city also broke its all-time high temperature record at 124 degrees. Other states such as Arizona, Oregon, and Nevada have also seen record-breaking heat. This increase in extreme heat has been somewhat attributed to climate change caused by human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels. It is predicted that temperature records will continue to fall as long as greenhouse gas emissions continue to rise. The world has renewable energy solutions like solar and wind power, but there is still a long way to go in implementing them on a large scale. Despite efforts to limit global warming, more temperature extremes are expected to occur, posing significant challenges for the planet and its inhabitants. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Dollar General settles for $12 million over safety violations, commits to major improvements. Dollar General has agreed to pay a $12 million fine and implement significant safety improvements in its U.S. stores to settle allegations of widespread workplace safety violations. The settlement with the U.S. Department of Labor resolves issues including blocked fire exits, improper storage of merchandise, and other hazardous conditions. Dollar General will reduce inventory, improve stocking practices, and hire more safety managers to prevent these hazards. If similar problems are found in the future, the company may face fines of up to $100,000 per day. This agreement covers all of Dollar General's 20,000 U.S. stores, excluding POP shelf locations. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Hurricane Beryl aftermath. CenterPoint Energy criticized as 1.3 million Texans face power outages amid heat wave in southeast Texas. The aftermath of Hurricane Beryl has left over 1.3 million residents without electricity, leading to life-threatening heat conditions and multiple heat-related deaths. CenterPoint Energy, responsible for a significant portion of the grid, has faced criticism for insufficient communication and delays in restoration efforts. Despite the company's promises to provide estimated restoration times, frustrations have mounted, with graffiti reading "CenterPointless" appearing on major highways. The power outages have severely impacted homes, businesses, and medical facilities, particularly senior care facilities, which are vulnerable to the heat. The crisis has underscored existing infrastructure vulnerabilities in Houston, a city already notorious for its flooding issues. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Stranded in space. NASA astronauts await Boeing's Starliner fix. Two NASA astronauts, Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams, are currently stranded in space aboard the International Space Station due to technical issues with Boeing's Starliner spacecraft. Despite these challenges, both astronauts have expressed confidence in Boeing's ability to safely return them to Earth. The mission has experienced several malfunctions and delays, prompting concerns across the world for their safety. NASA officials have confirmed that there are no current plans to use a SpaceX craft for a rescue operation, reinforcing their faith in Boeing's capacity to resolve the issues. The astronauts reported that they are having a great time in space, maintaining morale and optimism despite the unforeseen complications. They described the Starliner as truly amazing, despite its recent troubles. The Starliner spacecraft has encountered problems that delayed earlier missions and now potentially jeopardize the current one. Boeing assures that they are working diligently to rectify the situation and ensure a safe return for the astronauts. Their unwavering confidence in Boeing's engineering capabilities is mirrored by NASA, which continues to liaise closely with Boeing to bring the astronauts home. As international attention focuses on this mission, the astronauts' assurances and Boeing's commitments are crucial in maintaining public and professional confidence. While challenges do exist, the collaboration between NASA and Boeing is central to overcoming these obstacles and ensuring the astronauts' safe return. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Half of U.S. cancer deaths preventable. Impact of lifestyle choices on cancer mortality. A recent study has revealed that nearly half of all cancer deaths in the United States could be prevented through lifestyle changes. The study identified 6 specific lifestyle factors contributing to the high cancer mortality rate: smoking, poor diet, alcohol consumption, physical inactivity, excessive body weight, and exposure to ultraviolet radiation. These factors are responsible for around 40% of cancer cases. The study emphasizes the significant influence of behavior on cancer risk, highlighting the potential for lifestyle adjustments to reduce the incidence and lethality of the disease. Additionally, alcohol was identified as a major driver of several types of cancer. These findings stress the importance of public health strategies, focusing on lifestyle modifications to prevent cancer and improve overall health outcomes. With cancer being a leading cause of death, the research calls for urgent action in promoting healthy lifestyle choices to mitigate cancer risks. Experts emphasize that interventions targeting these key areas could substantially decrease cancer mortality and enhance the quality of life for many individuals. The study highlights the critical role of individual behavior and public health policies in combating cancer. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Colorado crisis. Governor Polis declares emergency over avian flu outbreak in Weld County, Colorado. Governor Jared Polis has declared a disaster emergency following an outbreak of highly pathogenic avian influenza, HPAI, at a commercial egg facility in Weld County. The outbreak has led to the killing of 1.78 million chickens to prevent the spread of the disease. This is the latest in a series of avian flu outbreaks in the state, with over 6 million birds affected since early 2022. The state veterinarian has issued a quarantine order in parts of Weld County to limit the movement of birds in and out of the area. Commercial or backyard poultry owners in the quarantine area are asked to report the status of their flocks. The veterinary diagnostic laboratories at Colorado State University, led by Dr. Christy Pabalonia, have been testing animal samples from across the state, including those from the affected facility. The avian flu outbreak has also been seen in cattle, causing changes in milk production and depressed behavior. While there have been no reported mortalities in cattle, the impact on dairy producers is significant. The disaster emergency declaration allows the state to provide support and resources to affected producers for response, recovery, and mitigation efforts. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Breakthrough at Northwestern University. Identifying lupus molecular trigger and paving the way for a cure, scientists at Northwestern University have made a groundbreaking discovery in the fight against lupus. They have identified a root cause of the autoimmune disease, which could potentially lead to a cure. This breakthrough offers hope for millions of people worldwide who are affected by lupus. The researchers have pinpointed a molecular defect that triggers the harmful immune response characteristic of lupus. This finding could pave the way for the development of targeted treatments to reverse the disease. The study's results are significant, as they provide a deeper understanding of the underlying mechanisms of lupus. The discovery of this molecular switch could lead to the creation of new therapies that can effectively manage and potentially reverse the disease. This breakthrough is a major step forward in the fight against lupus, and it is expected to have a significant impact on the lives of those affected by the disease. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. CDC dengue fever alert on Long Island. A rising health concern in New York, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has issued a warning following the report of up to 16 cases of dengue fever on Long Island. This marks a significant concern for residents, as dengue fever, a mosquito-borne illness, has seen a notable uptick in the region. The cases have been primarily detected in both Suffolk and Nassau counties. Dr. Sharon Nachman from Stony Brook Medicine emphasizes the importance of taking preventive steps, such as using DEET-based insect repellents and ensuring there is no standing water around homes, which can serve as breeding grounds for mosquitoes. This outbreak in Long Island is part of a broader trend, with nearly 200 cases of dengue virus reported recently in New York and New Jersey. The primary vectors for the virus are the Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus mosquitoes, which are active during the summer months. Public health officials urge vigilance in personal protection measures, especially for outdoor activities. The CDC's warning highlights the escalating risk and the need for heightened public awareness and precautions to mitigate the spread of dengue fever. The situation remains under close observation as health experts and local authorities work together to manage and contain the outbreak. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Impact of Hurricane Beryl's remnants on Vermont. Death, damage, and the struggle for recovery. Vermont is grappling with intense flooding caused by the remnants of Hurricane Beryl, resulting in one confirmed death. This severe weather event has struck the state just a year after previous catastrophic rainfall, further compounding local challenges. Authorities have identified the deceased as a Vermont man, with rescue operations still underway to assist those trapped or affected by the floodwaters. The flooding has disrupted numerous communities, leaving behind extensive damage to property and infrastructure. Emergency response teams are tirelessly working to manage the disaster and provide relief to impacted residents. Vermont officials have urged people to stay safe and heed evacuation orders. The state's resources are currently stretched thin as they respond to the urgent needs and coordinate ongoing rescue efforts. The damage assessment is still in preliminary stages, but early reports indicate significant losses. The aftermath of Hurricane Beryl's remnants serves as a stark reminder of the area's vulnerability to extreme weather events. Residents and authorities alike brace for recovery while remaining vigilant for potential further impacts. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Rising star Paul Skenes joins Nolan Ryan with historic no-hit feat against Brewers. Paul Skenes has made history by joining Nolan Ryan in the record books with an impressive performance. In a recent game against the Milwaukee Brewers, Skenes threw 7 no-hit innings and struck out 11 batters. This remarkable feat puts him alongside the legendary Nolan Ryan, known for his exceptional pitching skills. Skenes' achievement is all the more notable given his rookie status. His ability to dominate on the mound has earned him recognition as a rising star in Major League Baseball. The Pittsburgh Pirates' win was a testament to Skenes' skill and control, as he kept the Brewers' offense at bay throughout the game. This historic performance has sparked discussions about the challenges of letting a pitcher remain in for a no-hitter. Managers must weigh the risks and rewards of pushing their pitchers to achieve such feats. Either way, Skenes' accomplishment serves as a reminder of the exceptional talent emerging in the MLB. Paul Skenes' 7 no-hit innings and 11 strikeouts have cemented his place in the record books alongside Nolan Ryan, solidifying his position as a force to be reckoned with in the world of baseball. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Copa Chaos. Uruguay players and Colombian fans clash at Bank of America Stadium. Uruguay players and Colombian fans clashed in the stands after the Copa America semifinal match at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. The incident occurred following Uruguay's 1-0 loss to Colombia. Several Uruguayan players, including Darwin Núñez, Ronald Araujo, and José María Jiménez, were involved in the altercation. Objects, such as beverage cans, were thrown during the confrontation. Security personnel intervened to defuse the situation, allowing the players to return to the field accompanied by some family members. The incident has raised concerns about the safety of players and their families at future matches. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Crossbow tragedy unfolds. BBC journalist's family murdered in Hertfordshire. A suspect has been apprehended in connection with the triple murder of a BBC journalist's wife and two daughters using a crossbow. The incident, which occurred in the family's home in Hertfordshire, has sent shockwaves through the community. The victims, identified as Carol Hunt, 61, and her daughters Hannah, 28, and Louise, 25, were found dead with fatal injuries inflicted by a crossbow. Authorities believe the suspect, 26-year-old Kyle Clifford, was known to the victims and had a personal connection to the family. The motive behind the brutal attack remains unclear, but the investigation is ongoing. The BBC has expressed its condolences to the family of the commentator, and the community remains in shock over the brutal nature of the crime. The incident highlights the need for increased vigilance in preventing such tragedies. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Foiled Russian plot against Rheinmetall CEO highlights NATO security concerns. U.S. and German authorities have thwarted a Russian plot to assassinate the CEO of Rheinmetall AG, a major German arms manufacturer that supplies artillery ammunition and armored vehicles to Ukraine. The targeted individual, Armin Paperger, has been instrumental in supporting Ukraine's war efforts. This plot is part of a broader Russian campaign to disrupt arms supplies to Ukraine, which includes sabotage, cyber attacks, and disinformation. NATO officials have expressed concerns about the escalating threat of Russian interference and are working to enhance security measures to counter these tactics. The White House National Security Council has emphasized the need for a concerted effort with NATO allies to address this issue. The foiled assassination plot underscores the heightened security risks and the dangerous escalation in the ongoing geopolitical struggle involving Russia and Western nations. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Kenya in crisis. President Ruto fires cabinet amid deadly tax protests. Kenyan President William Ruto has dismissed nearly his entire cabinet except for the Deputy President and the Prime Cabinet Secretary, in response to widespread protests over a controversial tax bill. The protests, which have turned deadly, saw citizens taking to the streets to express their discontent with the government's proposed tax increases. President Ruto's decision to sack the cabinet aims to restore public trust and create a more inclusive government that addresses the concerns of the populace. Key figures such as Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi are expected to retain their positions in the reconfigured government. The State House in Nairobi has yet to announce the new appointments that will fill the vacant cabinet positions. This development underscores the volatile political climate in Kenya, as the administration grapples with maintaining stability and addressing economic challenges. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Colombia versus Argentina Copa America clash. Triumph and turmoil on the field. Colombia secured a spot in the Copa America final against Argentina after defeating Uruguay 1-0 in the semi-final. The match was marked by chaos, with a massive brawl breaking out between players and fans after the final whistle. The incident has raised questions about the safety and security of the tournament. Colombia's victory means they will face Argentina in the final, seeking to win their first Copa America title since 2001. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Marathon Oil's record $241.5 million EPA settlement. A leap towards cleaner air on Fort Berthold. Marathon Oil has reached a historic $241.5 million settlement with the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, for alleged air quality violations at its oil and gas operations on the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation in North Dakota. This agreement marks the largest civil penalty ever imposed for violations of the Clean Air Act at stationary sources. The settlement aims to reduce emissions that contribute to climate change and health issues, with Marathon committing to slash carbon dioxide emissions by over 2.25 million tons over the next 5 years. This reduction is equivalent to removing 487,000 cars from the roads for a year. Additionally, the company will eliminate around 110,000 tons of volatile organic compounds, which exacerbate respiratory conditions like asthma. Marathon, based in Houston, operates 169 wells in North Dakota, where it extracts oil and natural gas. Despite not admitting liability, the company agreed to the terms of the settlement to avoid legal proceedings and serve the public interest. The EPA's regional administrator, K.C. Becker, emphasized the positive impact of the agreement on tribal communities, highlighting efforts to enhance air quality and reduce respiratory illnesses in the region. The settlement also requires Marathon to pay a $64.5 million civil penalty and invest $177 million in compliance measures to substantially decrease harmful emissions from its existing and new facilities in North Dakota. This significant agreement marks a major step in the government's efforts to target emissions from the oil and gas sector. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. NATO brands China as Russia's key ally in Ukraine conflict. Global tensions escalate. NATO allies have labeled China a decisive enabler of Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine. This designation comes after revelations indicating strong support from China to Russia's defense sector. NATO's stance marks a significant shift, explicitly accusing China of aiding Moscow in its military efforts. NATO's condemnation also aims to consolidate support from international partners against what it perceives as a coordinated threat to global security. The Western Alliance emphasizes its commitment to Ukraine's full integration into the Euro-Atlantic community, intensifying diplomatic efforts to counter Russian aggression. Critical infrastructure and economic support provided by China have been spotlighted as crucial to Russia's military operations. This allegation from NATO has sparked a stern response from Chinese officials, who dismiss the claims as belligerent rhetoric and lies. Beijing's close ties with Moscow have become a focal point of international scrutiny amid the escalating conflict. Chinese officials have emphasized that NATO should cease spreading what they describe as false narratives and focus instead on addressing issues within its geographical scope. The tension surfaces as NATO allies closely monitor China's international actions, wary of Beijing's growing influence and its potential impact on global security dynamics. China, on the other hand, maintains that it aims to promote peace and stability, criticizing NATO's efforts to extend its reach into Asia. The dispute underscores the broader geopolitical friction between China and Western powers, particularly concerning global power balances and strategic alignments. As these exchanges and tensions intensify, the international community watches closely to see how this geopolitical chess match will further unfold, understanding that the implications of these interactions are far-reaching. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Ending the mission. U.S. military closes Gaza pier amid challenges. Plans for future aid efforts. The U.S. military is ending its troubled Gaza pier mission, which delivered approximately 20 million pounds of food and other essential supplies to the residents of Gaza. The temporary pier, built to facilitate the operation, faced significant challenges from both security threats and severe weather conditions. Despite these hurdles, the pier enabled the delivery of humanitarian aid without requiring U.S. troops on the ground. The decision to terminate the mission follows consultations with key international and local stakeholders, who expressed concerns about the operation's feasibility. The Pentagon emphasized their commitment to finding alternative means to support Gaza, with President Biden and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan expressing their resolve to continue aiding Gaza through coordinated international efforts. The future of Gaza's humanitarian aid rests on the effective execution of these alternatives, while maintaining a vigilant eye on the region's volatile security landscape. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Seismic alert, 6.4 magnitude earthquake shakes Vancouver Island. No major damage reported. A significant earthquake with a magnitude of 6.4 struck southwestern Canada near Vancouver Island. The tremor occurred in the early hours, prompting immediate attention from seismologists and local authorities. Residents in the town of Tofino reported experiencing light shaking. According to the United States Geological Survey (USGS), the earthquake's epicenter was located off the coast beneath the Pacific Ocean. No serious injuries or structural damage have been reported so far, though assessments are still ongoing. Canadian emergency services are currently monitoring the situation closely. Public safety messages have been disseminated, advising people to stay alert for any aftershocks, which are common following significant earthquakes. While the 6.4 magnitude earthquake caused some light shaking in parts of Vancouver Island, no major damage has yet been reported, highlighting both the unpredictable nature of seismic activity and the importance of readiness in potentially affected regions. Residents and authorities alike remain vigilant as they assess the full impact of this seismic event. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. China naval presence near Alaska. U.S. Coast Guard monitors warships in exclusive economic zone. Multiple Chinese warships were spotted near Alaska by the U.S. Coast Guard over the weekend. The vessels, totaling 4, were observed approximately 124 miles north of the Amka Pass, within the Aleutian Islands, with an additional ship located about 84 miles north of Alaska's Amukta Pass. These sightings occurred in international waters, but within the U.S. exclusive economic zone, which spans 200 nautical miles from the U.S. coast. The Coast Guard clarified that all 4 ships adhered to international regulations and standards during their operations. Upon communication with the Chinese vessels to safeguard U.S. interests in the maritime surroundings of Alaska, the ships indicated that they were conducting freedom of navigation operations. The U.S. Coast Cutter Kimball, a 418-foot national security ship, monitored the naval activity. The Kimball, partaking in Operation Frontier Sentinel, a Coast Guard initiative aimed at responding to strategic competitors operating near U.S. waters, ensured oversight until the Chinese ships exited the U.S. exclusive economic zone. The U.S. Coast Guard affirmed that the Kimball will persist in patrolling the area. Notably, past occurrences similar to this have transpired, including encounters with Chinese surface action groups by Coast Guard cutters in September 2021 and September 2022. Furthermore, in August 2022, the U.S. Navy dispatched destroyers to the Alaskan coast, following the presence of 11 Chinese and Russian warships patrolling international waters within the exclusive economic zone. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Escalating tensions. Israel orders Palestinian evacuation from Gaza City. Amid ongoing clashes with Hamas, Israel has ordered the evacuation of all Palestinians from Gaza City amid escalating military operations. The Israeli military has intensified its actions, citing security concerns and the presence of militant groups in Gaza. This move has led to significant tension and resistance from the Palestinian population, who have expressed a reluctance to leave their homes. The order follows persistent clashes between Israeli forces and Hamas, the militant group controlling Gaza. Many residents fear for their safety as the conflict continues to escalate, with both sides sustaining casualties. Humanitarian agencies have raised alarms about the potential for a large-scale humanitarian crisis as thousands of people are displaced. Reports indicate that some areas previously declared safe by the Israeli military are now being evacuated again, underscoring the volatile nature of the situation. International entities, including the United Nations, are calling for restraint and urging both parties to find a peaceful resolution. The situation remains fluid, with ongoing negotiations reportedly facilitated by Egypt, Qatar, and the United States aiming to de-escalate the conflict. The evacuation order for Palestinians in Gaza City marks a significant development in an already protracted conflict. The international community continues to watch closely, recognizing the severe humanitarian implications of this latest development. This is the news for today, Thursday the 11th of July 2024. Delta and Air France brace for $100 million hit during Paris Olympics. As travel trends shift, Delta Airlines anticipates a financial hit of $100 million during the upcoming Paris Olympics as customers opt to avoid travel to the city. This sentiment echoes similar apprehensions expressed by Air France, which also foresees a significant dip in revenue during the Olympics. Market analysts attribute this pattern to the broader trend of travelers shying away from historically popular yet increasingly congested destinations during large-scale events. The drop in tourism is not just affecting airlines, but also high-end accommodations in Paris. Luxury hotels are reportedly experiencing lower booking rates as potential visitors seek alternative destinations. This shift is undoubtedly posing a challenge for the tourism sector, with repercussions steered by the unique dynamics of the Olympic Games. As the dates inch closer, airlines and hospitality businesses are preparing to navigate the anticipated downturn in both their international and domestic markets. The financial landscape for the travel industry around this period appears cautiously pessimistic, shaped by an aversion to anticipated disruptions during the Olympics.